Welcome to the PRFFP, the podcast showcasing the films and the directors of the Party Room Film Festival. This week's guest directed The Rotten Roommate and How to Find Food in the Wild. Please welcome Aaron.
What's up?
Welcome back, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
I can't help but notice you're not wearing a crown this time.
I'm not. Got dethroned.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel sad about it? Does it invigorate you? How does it feel to be dethroned? Aaron just left the meeting. Apparently, I offended him very harshly. Welcome back.
You there? Sorry, I got glitchy. No.
I was like, man, I must have hurt his feelings really bad.
No. It's okay. No, I was super excited for Matt because I love Bargain Batman. I thought the time and energy and money he put into it was well worth it. So I was excited to see it. I thought he deserved it. No hard feelings.
What were some of your first reactions to getting to choose your category?
First reactions? Well, you and me decided it together. Remember that? And so I think I was like, well, and we at the time we had that little like rival. I mean, we still kind of do this like fun rivalry back and forth.
Oh yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, I feel like ours was kind of different because in the second year we both got first and second, so it was like this super like we need to pick a category that's tough for the other guy but is an advantage to me, but like, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I think my first thought when I heard we're gonna pick the category was what's something that could, I honestly thought what's something that could lock me into something I wouldn't normally do. So my first thought was like musical, song, one shot. I think we talked about some of these. Because it would kind of force me to make something that I wasn't quite comfortable with, which sometimes I think may produce better results.
I remember like us talking, and we talked for a solid like 30-40 minutes. We were on the call about how when the world is your oyster, it's almost more difficult because you know, like there are just so many options to do. So how do we settle on just one?
Right. And so I think my mind, like, even though we had all the options in the world, it's like, how can I force myself into something, which is like the opposite of what Andrew and Zach and Josiah wanted to happen.
Yep. You know, now that we have seen all of the films, I'm glad we didn't do this, but I remember us for a brief moment thinking about like mine could be the prequel to yours.
Yeah.
Because yours was guaranteed to go after mine. So we had like a rare opportunity there, but if that happened, we would have just been copying Trevor and Paul. So I'm glad we didn't.
That is true. We did talk about that. We had a thought that our films would possibly, you know, yours would go earlier in the night and then mine, and they could be connected. But once I saw Trevor and Paul's, I was kind of glad we didn't do it because they just pulled it off so well.
Yeah, we couldn't have competed with that. But how did we settle on change? Because I actually don't know. How did we do that?
I actually think we were talking about it in time. Okay, so I think at the time, one of my loose ideas, I knew I wanted to do something outside. Like the first year I was in it, most of the film took place inside, and so it was as simple as that took place inside. Let's go outside. There's more. I thought visually there'd be more to see, that kind of thing. And I think one of my first thoughts was I wanted to be like hiking or something, and then I like broke my leg or something and was like stranded in the woods and starving, and like the change would be I go from this average ordinary citizen to this like cannibalistic dude in the woods. And I think I like talked a little bit about the idea to you, and I was like, I haven't really fleshed it out. Both of our ideas, I think that was the one word we could sort of loosely tie to both of our first ideas.
Yeah, I think that we figured out that change just represents all stories ever.
That's a good way to put it too. I think so. I think we came to that conclusion. No matter what we do, change is inevitable.
Even if your actor just wears a different shirt in another scene, he changed physically. Like, I think we just figured out that, like, you know what, this is vague. This will let us do whatever we want.
And by the way, that'll probably never, like, our category out of all of them, I'm sure we had like the most loose, like, I'm sure that's never going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Party room film.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know, because after 2 years, the council decided that they couldn't come up with anything. So, I mean, if they gave up on year 3, what are they even going to do for year 4? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But what I love about our films is that we went with the vague category, but we could have gone with the category of food. We could have gone with
that's the funny thing.
We could have gone with the category of bears.
Yeah. Dude, that would have been a hilarious category. Just bears. Like, what does that mean? Perfect.
Tell me a little bit about initial reactions to your actor, the prop, and the line.
Yeah. So, prop. We'll start there because I was least happy about that. I mean, not that I wasn't happy.
Everyone was.
What am I gonna do with this? Like, and then I think there was discussion. Do I have to go buy a Nickelback? Like, I'm not gonna spend like tons of money on this. I mean, I could, but I'm probably not going to. And I was like, do I have to buy that? And where am I gonna find that? Well, so that was the most difficult. The line, I also had no idea how to incorporate that in anything because it was super long.
Super long, super specific.
The actor, I was happy to get Mitchell as my actor. I thought to myself, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get to him, so I thought, it'd probably have to be some sort of like him sending me a video or something, which ended up not being that at all. But I was the most confused, I think, about the prop and the line. I was just not sure what I was going to do.
All right, so give me a little bit of an idea on your timeline. So obviously we knew the genre ahead of time, and we had like a few half-baked ideas. Tell me about like light bulb moments, scripting, casting, shooting, editing. Just give me some type of general timeline about all that.
I told you, like, after last year's festival, I liked the overall feeling of Rotten Roommate. And I wanted to kind of recreate a similar humor style, but kind of move it outside, like I said. And I decided to make it less demonic and more of something else. And at the time, I didn't know what that was. I started to go into, like I said, like breaking my leg or something and laying in the forest, just because I thought that'd be like a really funny visual that was different. I thought I could eat. The original idea was I would find mushrooms by me and I would like hallucinate during one of the scenes. That's kind of what I was thinking. And then that kind of changed a little bit because I was on YouTube one day, and I think this is just as the rules came out, week after or so, and I saw a YouTube video that was recommended to me called like "How to Find Food in the Forest" or something like that is what I think it was called, and it was this dude that was he lived in this little hut in the woods, and he was like foraging for berries and stuff. And for some reason, that was so funny to me. I don't know why, but I think it's because he ate like a dandelion, and he was just talking about how like good it tasted, and he'd rather have that than like a nice steak dinner because it was like more nutritious. And for whatever reason, that video, and it wasn't meant to be funny, but that video just made me laugh so hard. And it had just this like really bad camera angles, and he was kind of a vlogger, and I was like, oh, I like that. I like the kind of wannabe YouTuber sort of feel to it. So that's when I started to think how I could combine those two ideas.
The irony of like, yeah, I'm a real woodsman. I'm in touch with nature, but also I need Wi-Fi to upload.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it is. That was really funny to me. It just seems so fake or weird, and so I like that idea. And then I was on some green screen YouTube channel, and I ran across a green screen, like just like a like really crappy green screen of a bear, and I was like, oh, that'd also be really funny because that's kind of a direction no one's gone yet. Is these just horrible? Even though I did not create the bear, I just downloaded some green screen videos. And
Cheating.
Is that cheating?
Cheating.
Is that? I don't know. But it may have been. But I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. How about instead of me breaking my leg, I just get attacked by a bear? That's how that came full circle. And then as far as like casting and stuff, originally I wanted more people in this film, but I was super busy last summer, and I'm the kind of guy, like, if I start something and I'm like super busy, it's hard for me to like put it down and then go away for a month and come back to it. Like, I just knew I needed to power through in like a week of this thing. So that's just how I am. And so originally I had reached out to a few people, Tanner being one of them, because I wanted him during that scene where I'm like crawling on my way to Taco Bell. I wanted him like at a park bench and just kind of like looking at me. I thought that would have been funny to add. And then I originally had Sam. I had messaged him because I was originally at the very end going to crawl to a Chick-fil-A. And I was going to go there on a Sunday and film it really quick, like, hop out of the car, film it really quick. But then so I had him record like, hey, welcome to Chick-fil-A. And because I thought that'd be so funny, is me just crawling all bloody up to a Chick-fil-A thing. And in the drive-thru. But then I started thinking about it, and like the 3 closest Chick-fil-A's near me are all near like major roads. And like they have like security cameras. And I was like, I don't know if I should do that. And then I think right around that time, I met someone from my small group at church who is the general manager of that Chick-fil-A. And I was like, ooh, and then I know like who's in charge. And I was like, okay. And so I started rethinking, and I think I messaged Sam. I said, I think I'm going to go a different direction. And then as far as filming goes, I think it was I filmed some scenes on a Friday night in early July, I want to say. It's early July, Friday night. And then Saturday, most of the day I was filming a lot of the scenes where I was like outside, the bear attack, all that. That was from probably like 9 a.m. to 2 or 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday. And then that Sunday morning, the next day, I went back about 5 a.m. for the like bloody early morning scenes and then I crawled on the grass in front of a Taco Bell. It was like 5:30 in the morning on Sunday morning. Yeah. And no one did call the police, but a Taco Bell employee was watching me from the window. But I'm like the kind of person who I'm like, if I can just get through it, if I can just film it, it'll like live forever,
Why is it that both of your films have involved strangers seeing you covered in fake blood?
I know, right? And that fake blood was sticky, man. It was like red food color. I don't know why I did this. This isn't even how you should make fake blood. It was like red food coloring and syrup.
I mean, like corn syrup. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to. Corn syrup, flour, and
no, I used like maple syrup.
Oh no!
Like,
yeah, that'd be your problem.
And it was like stuck to my glasses. Even shortly after, I had to get new glasses. I couldn't get some. Honestly, I really did. So funny. But next year, I'm not gonna do fake blood.
I'm doing real blood next year. Tell me about the music and the intros for this, which, by the way, before we I want to hear about like your choice of music for the intro, but I want you to know the music takes up about 20% of the entire video if you add it all together.
Yeah, that's awesome, actually, that you did the math on that. Yeah, so I think the music, I forget how I found that song. It was just on some royalty-free site. Well, I heard it in like a Subway commercial recently, actually. That same music. I think it's in a Subway ad. I think it's a Subway. I just thought it had a intro-y type feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it'd be funny for some reason to repeat it again and again and again. And I think the reason I thought that'd be funny is because I think I was going for the joke at the end landing where it's like this positive intro and then you see me bleeding out and I'm still vlogging. So I think to make that joke land more, I thought I needed to add it like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. All about the setup. So genuinely found a chipmunk out in the wild, or tell me about that.
Yeah, it was right outside my townhome. It was right down there, and found that a lot of the food that was in there, the video, we already had in our fridge. We had tons of potatoes and stuff, blackberries. It was pretty happenstatial. I brought some eggs in the car and just went to the woods behind my house and just found a random bird's nest and actively got the egg from that nest. So yeah, so a lot of it was just like, oh, like there's a chipmunk. Like I was just kind of winging it a little bit.
During the first YouTube video, like as we're watching it being recorded, right before you're about to eat the strawberries, what is this image of you that looks like you're about to vomit? You're like,
I took that when I was so Caitlin helped me film the whole thing, and I was telling her like what angles to get and stuff. And during the bear attack scene, which was also, by the way, that bear attack scene was filmed next to a trail. And so I was running around and like flailing my body, and there were people walking by. And I don't know why I chose such a. I mean, it's an extremely public place. It's not like not public. Every angle I chose doesn't show the trail, but it's like a super popular trail.
Well, what I love about the character development from last year to this year, like within you, is that last year you said, yeah, I hid in the bushes because I wanted to make sure these people didn't see me. And this year you're like, blood everywhere, public road, popular trail, let's do it.
I know. That is a character development, yeah. I've grown.
All right. The chewing. Aaron, why? Why?
Dude, the
why? Why?
Yeah. A lot of those edits I just kind of added in post because I tried to rely on where I thought I could be most effective, which is in the editing room. And so I was just adding tons of imagery and zoom ins and stuff. And I think I just randomly, I accidentally zoomed way in and then heard some chewing sounds, but the chewing sounds weren't that loud. And I was like, ooh, this is good. And I got my phone and I chewed more into my phone, like louder, and put that over top. So that's not even the original chewing sound.
So that's genuine Aaron chewing, though. That's not some sound clip that you downloaded.
Yes, that's me chewing. And it's funny because that got a huge reaction, which made me think, should I go down that road a little bit more?
No, you shouldn't. No, stop it. No. I have a major issue with chewing, and
what's that called? It's called something.
It's called being normal. That's what it's called.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, no, I have a major issue with chewing, and I have had to watch your film a couple times for the sake of the podcast, and I get to that part, and I'm just like, Winneroski.
That's gross.
Fun fact, I have never eaten a strawberry. And now I never will because of you.
Never eaten a strawberry?
Yeah, no. I don't.
Have you had a strawberry milkshake?
No.
Oh. Shortcake?
No.
Well, get some chocolate covered strawberries for
Valentine's. No, I feel like if I've made it to this age without eating a strawberry, now it just needs to keep going. So there really is a How to Find Food in the Wild channel.
There is.
And there is nothing on it.
Nope.
but I watched all of it. And I know that you knew that I would. In fact, I'm positive this whole film was there just to infuriate me because of our rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's the chewing. You're taking my style as the Hawaiian shirt.
True.
You know, my whole like survival abilities and stuff, being a camp guy. You offered me a role as like a dispatch person just
I
to
did.
cancel
Yeah, I
it.
didn't talk about that, but I did.
Just to cancel it. You steal sound bites from the podcast I create.
I did.
The shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain yourself, man. What's all that?
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but you stole my poster and put my severed head in your arms. Does that ring a bell?
All right, but that was that was after you submitted your film, meaning that prior to that you had already stolen from the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Also, that's a good point. We should talk about the poster thing at some point.
We should.
Yeah.
Okay, I swear it wasn't that intentional, but it ended up becoming a more intentional thing as we went along. So, like, as far as like the Hawaiian shirt, that's just something I found at Goodwill.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And I was like, oh, I knew it was gonna get bloody, right? And so I was gonna just use one of my shirts or a t-shirt, but it was like $1 at Goodwill, and I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of fun, different, specifically for the video. So I got that. And so that wasn't necessarily connected, but I love that you think it was. And then chewing, I didn't know you've never eaten a strawberry or any of that until just now. So that wasn't intentional. But it is kind of funny. It ended up the way it was. Now, the shirt of you getting ripped in half by a bear that I wore to Party Room Film Festival at Zach's house.
Masterpiece.
That was intentional. Because you had my severed head in your arms on your poster.
I was just really waiting for you to say, like, yeah, the shirt where you're ripped in half by a bear. I also found that at Goodwill.
Dude, I can't find it, and I donated a lot of stuff to Goodwill recently, so I hope that I didn't accidentally donate that to Goodwill. Because there's a fairly high chance.
Oh no! You're going to be like walking through a park one day, and there's just going to be a little girl running around with a shirt that's too big for her, and it's just me being ripped in.
It's her favorite nightgown shirt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's talk about the posters. I guess I can confess some things.
Yeah, you need to explain yourself.
Well, do I explain it here, or do I explain it on my episode? I don't want to do an episode. I'll explain it here. Look, I knew that I wasn't proud of my film this year because obvious reasons.
Dude, I loved your film though.
It had a unique quality. Let's just leave it at that. But I wasn't super proud of it. And you saw it. If I didn't have the title that I did, what would you name that?
I don't know. Tack on Gummy City or something?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's just not a great... Like, I had a few ideas for a title, but nothing really came to mind for me. And then you submitted your poster and your title, and it said, How Not to Find Food in the Wild.
How to Find Food.
Or, excuse me, very sorry. How to Find Food in the Wild. And I originally wanted to submit, and I think I talked to you about this, and you were understandably like, no, don't do that. But
I think I said, name it anything but my name.
Yep. Because I originally, I just wanted to name it the exact same thing. That way I could pull, 50% of the votes.
And then remember, I reached out to, the chat, and I was like, what do you guys think of this? Thinking everyone would take my side, and they were all like, no, it's cool. I was like, okay. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Cool if he steals your name word for word.
And so, yeah, I ended up going with, we ended up settling. We took care of it in-house. I thought about just doing How to Find Food in the Wild 2, or I thought about doing like wild food in how to the like, just rearranging it.
Mhm.
But then, how not to. Um, and at that point, it was just a joke that,
Mhm.
like, okay, now I find it funny. Now it's entertaining to me. I'm gonna lean into that. And then, well, if I'm stealing the title, I have to steal the poster too. I did originally want to like just recreate the poster, not actually steal it, but I was on the
Mhm.
road all summer last year, so I couldn't do it.
Wait, why? Wait a second. So you stole my poster, so you can't get mad about me illegally downloading your podcast, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that you illegally downloaded the podcast before I made the poster or before I stole your poster. Now, in
So
fairness, I didn't know that you illegally downloaded the podcast. So
so
I
do
did.
we need to sue each other?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. Guess I'm ready to do that.
Yeah. Or, I mean, or we can just drop it.
agree to drop it.
Yeah, there we go.
Can my thumbnail to this just be me like behind bars or something?
And like your face is edited to like look really sad, like with a distortion.
Frowning face.
But yeah, and I was still really proud of the poster because I still, even though it was just a joke of stealing your poster, I changed the real bear to a gummy bear, so it did kind of allude to my film.
Did
But
you okay when you stole my poster? Did you know what my film was about at the time?
at
Because I
that
told you a
point,
little bit.
you told me a little bit. You told me a little bit because you offered me a role saying that like you would have gotten hurt in the woods or
Mhm.
you were going to be a YouTuber that got hurt in the woods and I was going to be like a
Okay.
dispatch officer.
I offered you like a role and then took it away.
Yeah. Yep. It still hurts, but
What was going to happen for people listening is I was going to, as I was laying there, and once I opened my eyes, I was going to call him. And then I think you were going to be playing Minecraft or something,
Mhm.
and then behind you on a piece of paper, just write like wildlife dispatch or something. And then I'm crying out for help. He's kind of like saying like, okay, I'll come help you. And then he like hangs up and then goes back to playing Minecraft. That was the cameo. That never happened.
So I mean, like I knew a little bit. I didn't know like to the full extent. I knew that there was going to be a bear involved, and whenever you said that, I had the image of Chuckles in a bear costume attacking you.
That would have been good.
But instead, we went with the 3D 3D model. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think like I said earlier, I think I found a green screen video, and then I found there was other ones, and I thought it was really funny how they were all different kinds of bears. Like some looked more realistic, some didn't. I thought it was funny how sometimes I would mask it well, and other times my hand would like it would like be over my hand. Like I loved that like whole like what's that movie like Birdemic, you know, that where the like,
Yeah.
like the fake birds.
Yeah.
I just love that like really low budget B movie, and I just thought that would fit really well in the festival.
I mean, like you said, like, there are some shots that like, they just look terrible because your arm's like going under him, everything. But there's the part where the bear throws you down, and that looks really good. How did you accomplish like this perfect interaction between you and the animation?
Yeah, so I found that clip ahead of time. Some I found ahead of time, some I didn't. I found like some running, some swiping, that kind of thing. But I found ahead of time the him standing up and swiping, and so I kind of just honestly I practiced it a little bit. That's the one move I did practice in the living room of like the angle it would need to
In
be
the living room.
yeah, and so I was just kind of like and I didn't fall.
Caitlin's trying to watch TV, and you're just like standing between her and the TV, going, "Oh no, it
Thrusting
should
my
be more
shoulder.
like this." Oh.
I did that move I think I did it 3 times, and I think that was the last take.
Mm.
And I don't know if you noticed, but like I fall hard.
It's a solid bump.
It's pretty solid. And I think that's because I think on that take, I think I slipped a little bit on the
I
grass.
think so.
But I slipped a little bit. And so I just went with it. And I did hit my head a little bit, and I did have a headache a little bit. So I could have possibly given myself a concussion, very, very mild, committing to my film.
The things we do for glory. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. I think next year, I think I'm going to do something a little more calm. Remember this.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
I was about to say, I can't wait to talk to you on the podcast next year. And there's just your film was about like breaking into a zoo or something like that. Going back to the very real YouTube channel with 5 subscribers, because I have subscribed. Yeah. Yeah, 5. I think you have 36 total views and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did watch through, for those who don't know, the thumbnail is the entire video. There's no audio or anything, but I was certain that Aaron would have left an Easter egg in there. So like I have watched through them multiple times just to see if like maybe he went like, "Hey Jacob," like during the middle of one of them. And they're like 3-minute videos.
Yeah, okay, so I was thinking like I knew if I wanted to make a YouTube channel, I thought what better way to pretend to make a YouTube channel than to make a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that would just look more convincing on, screen record and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I actually just like made some fake thumbnails, and then I put them random lengths because I didn't want them just to be like 1 second. So I actually dragged them out to like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. Literally if you pause it, just to make it feel like a more, real YouTube channel, which is crazy that I went to that length with that, but then used a CGI bear where my arm was under it. Right. So it's kind of funny what I did spend time on and didn't.
It's a weird level of world building, that's for sure.
I kind of like that though, right? And that follows the same path as Rotten Roommate, if you think about it. There was some serious thought that went into it, but at the same time, it's absolutely ridiculous and a waste of time simultaneously.
Mm-hmm. Would you say like that's your style that's emerging in the festival?
I think so. I was really impressed with this year's films. People really stepped it up. I actually came away with a couple ideas for next year. For now, as you know, I'm sure they will throw a curveball into it. But I would say yes. But I'm continually learning from the other films and thinking through what adjustments I could make.
Did Mitchell know the role that he had in your film?
No, actually, I don't think so. I think I reached out to him initially to actually record some stuff on his computer of him doing these reactions. But then I just decided to go with the audio because I was like re-listening to some of the podcasts from last year, and I heard some of his lines, and I was like actually I don't know, I kind of like this like really doctored movie in the mouth feel. I just thought it was fun at the time, and so I was like, no, let's just go super low budget and steal Jacob's podcast.
Which, I mean, I think that's funnier in itself, is that, you stole from the podcast, and, the people in that room, at most of them, I believe, right, the other directors would have gotten that joke. I just can't believe how perfectly it fit. That was amazing.
I know. He talks about, I mean, I edited it a little bit, but he talks about like YouTuber and that kind of thing. And that's what made me do it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so perfect that these lines already exist. And you guys, I knew the directors in the room would know it's from the podcast, which is this layer of depth that I just found really funny.
Yeah. Like it is a perfect in joke. Aaron, tell me, what other survival uses does a Nickelback CD have other than a plate and a throwable object? What other uses does it have?
I would say you could do maybe a shovel. Maybe
Probably a shovel.
a shovel. You could probably use it as some sort of knife, possibly.
Crack it in half, like, yeah.
Hmm.
I want to actually. This would be a fun video to do in itself. Like, I want to go camping with you. All right, and let's just take 20 CDs or DVDs, just blank ones, and see what we can do with it. Because I want to say, like, you could like reflect the light and build a fire with it.
Oh yeah, true.
Or like, I mean, I don't know because it like refracts light differently, but
You know, in a way, that would make like the perfect experimental party room film festival film.
Mhm.
A really funny, like spending the night somewhere in a haunted place or something.
Mhm.
I just think that would be really engaging.
Mhm. I, I won't lie to you. Like for the first week or two after the festival this year, that was my thought. Is like next year I am going to do that as a challenge. Like for a week, I am going to have a knife, the shirt on my back, and a Nickelback CD, just to show Aaron that it can be done.
Dude, I was literally crying laughing when I was editing that thing, when I throw that thing and it goes photograph. And I thought that I was the funniest person when I edited that. I thought it was so funny.
I thought I was the funniest person.
That's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole video, actually.
It's a good one. It got a huge pop. I mean, nobody was ready for that.
Oh, I will say, I want to add that like one of my MOs that I think I'm building on, that I'm doing each year, is I like having just a moment in the film that's just really chaotic and very fast paced. I'm out of breath. These quick cuts because I don't know, something about that I just find super entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And especially for you because you have self-identified your strength as editing. And so I imagine that's a lot more fun to edit as well.
Yeah, like if we can do a really fast-paced scene and get, 20-something angles on it, I think it's just really fun in the editing room to edit that together.
One thing I really love about your film is that this version of Aaron is still married. And either his wife supports his YouTube channel with 5 subscribers, or he is so irrational that he just didn't tell her and just disappeared for the sake of his 5 subscribers.
I like the idea that I just disappeared into the woods and I just come back just like after a bear attack.
And just your wife is there when you get home and you're like, it'll get views.
Yeah, I like that option.
Speaking of your wife, what was her involvement in the film?
Yeah, I wrote it all and then had her film it. And so I was just kind of being like, stand over here, do this, was kind of coaching her through. But she also, when we went out behind my house into the woods, and we were just kind of crawling in the creek a little bit and walking around in the woods, she was like coming up with ideas like, what if you went over there? What if you took a bite of that flower? What if you did this? And so she was kind of helping me think on the spot some ideas. And then when the bear attack happened, I feel bad for her because I was like, do this. And it was like really intense and embarrassing because, like I said, people were walking by. And so she was part of that.
Do we think we'll ever get an acting debut? Like, will she ever be in front of the camera or will she always be camera woman? What do you think?
Yeah, I think she should. I think that would be a good idea to do an acting debut of her and also include other people. I like playing myself in the films because I think...
Oh, yeah, you didn't have anybody this bad.
I was the only one.
I didn't realize that. That's really funny. You were the only actor in both of your films.
Isn't that funny? I need to find a way to include more people. Like I said, last summer I was like super busy.
It
But
happens.
I definitely want to try to include more people, even if that is virtual next year.
Aaron, I want to talk to you a little bit about the advice that you gave for confronting a bear. Look him dead in the eyes, show him you are the bigger mammal, and pounce.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still stand by this advice?
I do. I mean, it didn't work in the film, obviously. But I think that's because I wasn't looking in the eyes. I was running away too much.
Okay. It feels important to me to explain what you should do. If you see a brown bear, what you're supposed to do is you lay on your stomach. Ideally, you have like a backpack on so that when he's clawing at you, he doesn't rip up your back. And you put your hands clasped over the back of your neck like that's going to do anything. And you spread your legs so that he can't turn you over.
What do you do with the Nickelback CD?
Actually, you know what? The Nickelback CD, you reflect the light into its eyes. That way it's blinded and won't be able to catch you.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
All right, so you take the bump after the bear flips you over and you have this concussion. You already told me that this was a pretty public area that you were dancing in.
Yeah, it was. Well, you know, it was scary when I was out there at 5:15 in the morning and there was a jogger jogging by and I was covered in maple syrup. That is worse. Because it looks like I've been laying there all night, right?
Why does the bear say chipmunk?
I think I was just playing around in Adobe Audition and I was just like messing around with pitches and I stole, well, that's another thing I stole Andrew King's song from Lander's film last year, the taco singing. I wanted a different song, but then I thought, you know, we'll keep it in the festival family song, and I slowed that down and I was playing with some pitches, and so that's how that came about. So
you finally come to after the bear attack and you say, you know, welcome to the TWTDFTDW. Is that head trauma or does that actually stand for something?
No, that's another joke that I thought if I kept saying it and then I completely slaughtered it at the end, it would just be really funny. So I think I was just saying, and actually that took forever to remember, to just memorize that. And so, yeah, no, it doesn't stand for anything. I was just throwing out random things. And I thought it was funny when I say it and it's on the screen appearing as I say it. I just thought that was funny.
Which actually, that's another slam at me. You ripped the intro for the podcast too. You know, welcome to the PRFFP, and you're just like, welcome to the HT.
Yep, I did steal that. Yeah.
This whole film was directed at me. You scumbag.
Dude, okay, so I must have had a feeling you were gonna steal my title or something. There had to be a reason, right?
You knew that I love our rivalry, so you were like, I've got to punch first.
You know, yeah, probably. I legitimately messaged, I think, Levi, because he had seen your film. And I didn't ask like what it was about necessarily, but I was like, this is what I thought your film was. I thought you were just like sitting in front of the screen giving out like plot points to my film or something, because I think I had told you a little bit. And I thought you were just going plot point by plot point to spoil it. And I was like, Levi, does he do this?
I love our rivalry, but I would never do something like that.
And then I think Levi was like, yeah, he would never do that. I was like, I wouldn't put it past him. And he goes, oh, okay.
But God, that in retrospect, that's really funny. Like the concept of it's really funny, but like the action, I wouldn't do that. That's so funny. Worked with Levi, he taught me a lot, so he actually got to see a lot of my film. Actually, yeah, he saw the whole thing before festival night.
What was his reaction to that.
I actually got him to send me a video of it, and he looked at me and he just kind of like sat in silence for a little bit. He was like, what's happening here? So, but I mean, he helped me figure out how to make a good soundscape and everything, so that was good. Speaking of soundscape, you decide that you're going to, I Will Survive. What is the score for that section? Do you know?
I forget what it's called. It's also from a royalty-free site. I think I just typed in like epic battle music or something, and like the third one on the list. And I just thought it was the perfect fit. And actually, right when that starts, I like turn and roll down that hill. I turned very violently also down that hill. I don't know if you noticed how quickly I roll.
You zoomed down that thing, man.
Yeah. I shot that like 10 times, and I kept trying to go quicker. Because I just thought that was funny. And then I just loved the whole, I think in editings when I decided I was going to put the I Will Survive again and again and again.
Yeah, do you know how many times you did it?
8?
7.
Oh, that's close.
7 times.
That's awesome. And I think I did that's where I put the red sun line, red moon rise, whatever it was. I couldn't find a better place for it. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, like you said, it's a difficult line, man.
I wanted my line, and I'm going to submit it every year until I get it.
What's that? Or is that a spoiler, or would that be?
It's from Monsters Inc. It's nobody touches little Mikey. I think that's what it is. Yeah, when Boo like steals his thing. I just think that's perfect.
That's gonna get you so out of context. You can't. Oh no. And now, a brief word from our sponsors.
So what does voting for Trevor mean? It means that you voted for Trevor. Why should you vote Trevor? Because why not? Think about how many Trevors aren't currently on the council and how many would be if you voted for me. Can we really stand to not have Trevor on the council for one more year? Think about what's at stake. Not a whole lot, but still I'd like to be there. You might be asking yourself, what'll change if I vote for Trevor? And I'll tell you that I'll be on the council. That will be the main change.
If you vote for Trevor, the average height of the council will be improved dramatically. Voting for Trevor also means that the average handsomeness of the council increases. You should vote for Trevor because he is trustworthy and honorable.
This is Dr. Trevor Smith, and I approve this message.
You don't include Mitchell on the special thanks. You don't include the podcast on the special thanks. Why Prof. Bandy? And forgive me because I'm not a film student. I'm not initiated. I don't really know who that is.
I think there's just something in school. I kind of liked what Landers did last year when I think he did something similar. It was just like every film that came out of Asbury, like just put like random professor names in the credits. No, like maybe all their involvement was they like stopped by their office and they helped them with one line or something, you know? And so I just thought that was funny. Should have included Mitchell. I'm sorry, Mitchell. I should have included you. Podcast. I don't know. That's fine. But I didn't include that.
That's cool. All right. Post-credit scene. Did Chuckles just poop? Or like, did you find poop? What was that? Why?
I think I was just walking. I just found poop. And this was after I had made the whole film. And I was like, oh, hey, we could just film just like an ending, a tease. Even though I don't really have plans on making another one.
Well, you did say, part 2 coming August 2023, ? And then you say probably not, of course. Without committing, what would that sequel be?
Actually, I have thought of this.
I do have a pitch for you after you go.
Okay, actually, I have thought of this. It would be me and someone else
Mhm.
that, so either someone like you or Landers or Andrew, and I would say, I teamed up with this other YouTube channel who it's a hunting YouTube channel,
Nice.
and they're going to fly out here and we are going to track down the bear. And so it would be us tracking down the bear.
Okay, that's not too far off from my pitch. My pitch is that Mitchell teams up with the bear to like finish you off.
Dude, that would be so funny. So we get like you to come. We're
Mhm.
tracking down this bear. Mitchell, in the meantime, the B story is he teams up with the bear,
Mhm.
and they're trying to find us.
Yeah.
And we have this giant battle, and it's this like Anchorman like scene where we're all just like trying to kill each other, and it's 3 grown men and a bear.
That's a. I want a 40-minute film. You know what? Screw it. I want a full-length feature about that. That sounds amazing.
That's actually a really good idea.
You want to play a mini game real quick?
Sure.
You know how the mini game works? You know, who would win in a fight? Aaron edition. Aaron, who would win in a fight? You or Sweetums, the Muppet?
Ooh.
He's typically portrayed as a bad guy, but he's not bad. He's just misunderstood.
I feel like I would win that because I feel like I've learned a lot from my bear fight.
And Sweetums is basically just a bigger bear.
Yeah. Correct.
You know what? I'm not going to argue that. I like that. Thought process. Kicking it old school. Who would win in a fight, Aaron or Andre the Giant?
Andre the Giant.
7'4", 520 pounds.
Dude, you would destroy me. I mean, look at me in that picture. Look at him.
Would you like to take this moment to explain that picture?
I think I was dressed up as a Christmas present.
Okay, but why? That doesn't explain.
I don't know. Why was I? I think it was like Christmas time. If I had my beard in that picture, maybe I could have beat this dude.
You know, Zach says the same thing, is that, like, you know, without the beard, he doesn't have his full power.
I would agree to that.
Well, maybe you can take on your next opponent of Darla from Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah. I would win.
Are you sure? Because she is a self-proclaimed piranha.
Weight 80 pounds, height 4. I wouldn't feel good about it, but I would win.
All right, Aaron versus Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah. I'd probably go with Denzel Washington. I'd be scared I'd get sued.
For your next opponent, I feel like you'll know more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe? Aaron, what do you know about the Doom Slayer? And could you take him in a fight?
I would say no. Look
No.
at that. Guns and swords. I once owned some Nerf guns.
Nice.
But yeah, I would lose this for sure. The answer is no, you couldn't win this. Yes. Agreed.
Aaron versus Dumbo, the elephant.
Are elephants herd animals?
Yes.
Ooh.
What do you mean by herd animals?
Do I have to face Dumbo's mom too? Like if I hurt Dumbo?
Okay, the situation for this is you are in a cage with Dumbo, so you don't have to worry about family jumping in. It is you versus Dumbo, the baby elephant.
I guess if I I could put him in a full Nelson.
You think you could get your arms around that neck?
I could try. It is thick.
You know what? I'm gonna contest that one. I want the chat to decide. Aaron versus Edgar Wright. He is a god, so
I think I could take him. We're in a cage still. I'm in a cage with Edgar Wright.
Yep, cage fight, street brawl.
I feel like it'd be close.
Truth be told, I think you could take him too. I'm pretty sure you're a lot taller than him.
I have a good 6 inches on him. I'm 6'4".
Like, love him as much as I do. He looks like a homeschooler that has never seen the sun. Like, I think you got that one.
Yeah, I think I got this one too.
All right, Aaron versus Firo.
Ooh.
It's a Pokemon, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm. I think I would win that. Am I allowed to wear some sort of chain metal protected gear?
For the sake of argument, I'm going to say that you're allowed to wear the present that's in the picture.
No, I'm going to go with yes. I have some protection.
Nice. Aaron versus Goliath.
No.
No.
That's a no.
Are you sure? I mean, you only need a sling and a rock, or a few rocks.
I think if Goliath saw me with a bow on my head like that,
What about Aaron versus Genghis Khan?
Does he have a horse? It says horse riding.
No. I'm just listing off what he's good at.
I think I'd win.
Versus Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
He's a warrior. He's killed thousands.
That's probably my easiest W.
What?
I just have a good feeling about that one. I don't know why.
Genghis Khan is easier for you to beat than Darla from Finding Nemo. That is what you just said. I'm not going to argue it. It's your game. It's your answer. I'm sorry. Aaron versus Doofenshmirtz.
I think that would be close. I mean, obviously, he's very innovative, comes up with a lot of inventions, but I mean, look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a present. I think I could, I don't know. My brain's kind of wild. I think of some crazy stuff. I think I could go toe to toe with him. I think it would be very close.
All right, but who takes it in the end?
I think I would.
All right.
Sheer size.
Aaron versus Mr. Lund.
I think he would win.
Why?
I don't know. I don't want to hurt.
He's 3'1".
I know. There's something about him that I just wouldn't want to touch.
All right. Well, that's different. I don't want to hurt him, and I don't want to touch him. That's very different.
I don't know. I might, if I saw him in the street, I'd say, you know what, you do you. I think he wins.
How about Mr. Met?
Oh, I think I'd win.
Why is that?
Top heavy. Push him over.
It's very true. Now, this one will be a battle for the ages, this next one.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron versus the state of Texas.
Like all the people in Texas?
Yeah.
Or just this, I think.
Now, that, just to clarify, that's 29.53 million people. Including the cactuses, coyotes, bobcats, and scorpions.
How tall am I in this fight?
How tall are you now?
6'4".
Are you really?
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Yeah, you're 6'4".
That makes it. I think they'd win.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like Paul Bunyan size.
Okay, I mean, sure. Let's say you're like 20 feet tall.
20 feet tall, no. 30 feet tall, yes.
What's the distinction there?
It's bigger shoe size.
All right. That's such a like those 10 feet, man. That's the deciding factor. This might be the most heartbreaking fight that you will ever be in. But you versus Chuckles.
Oh gosh, look at him. I
don't have any statistics because I couldn't find any online, but you know.
I would win. He has I wouldn't want to win, but I mean, he's kind of weak. Now,
I was expecting you to say I concede or I forfeit. You're just like, no, I'll kick him.
No, I wouldn't hurt him. But I could like pin him on his back or something, like in the most gentle of ways. If he had his like powers from Rotten Roommate, I think maybe he could take me actually.
Well, in Rotten Roommate, he manipulates you into killing yourself. So
Oh yeah, so he did win.
Oh, what? Actually, yeah. There we go. There's the
We know that answer. We've seen it play out on screen. I changed my answer.
Thank you for playing. While we're talking about Chuckles, why was he not involved this year?
I don't know. I just thought, it was kind of controversial to like have him win Best Actor last year. And so I thought the fair and right thing to do would be take him out of the picture entirely.
I gotcha. Will we see a return of this esteemed actor?
I think so. I probably won't have him play as big of a role, but probably in the background or something.
I gotcha. I mean, you know that no matter how small a role he gets, he will still win Best Actor.
Yes.
I have just a few more questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, man. And I have something I need to show you too.
Okay. Do you want to do that first, or is that?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Can I share my screen?
Go for it.
Will it do it?
I
Is
don't.
it sharing it?
What's happening right now? This is terrifying.
I'm not announcing anything. I wanted to show you something, so I get the last laugh. So this is a little art project I put together called This Man.
I'm editing all this out, but go on.
This is something I call This Man.
Uh-huh.
This man steps in a wet spot after putting on fresh socks. This man enjoys raisin cookies over chocolate chip. This man prefers the warm side of the pillow. This man gets up from his computer with his headphones still attached. This man charges his phone without noticing the cord isn't plugged in the wall. This man doesn't use the Chipotle app. This man stole Aaron's PRFF poster.
Allegedly.
This man orders regular Mountain Dew at Taco Bell. This man has an Android phone.
How many are there?
This man uses Canva.
I don't know what that is.
This man eats Arby's. This man loves Transformers Dark of the Moon.
How many are there?
This man leaves the door slightly ajar after he leaves the room. Just enough to annoy. This man loves Jar Jar Binks. This man leaves you on red. This man turns on his blinker but never turns. This man texts, "We need to talk," but doesn't let you know what about, leaving you to worry and jump to conclusions.
How many are there?
And then I have one last one because I went a little too hard on you. This man has a wonderful podcast. He's overall an amazing and capable human and friend.
Aw, buddy.
So there you go.
You ever laugh so much that you feel like you're gonna throw up? Oh my god, that's so funny. This man orders Arby's.
I can't take credit for all of them. Andrew King helped me come up with a couple of them.
That's such a weird insult.
I think
Anyway,
he came up with that one.
And orders regular Mountain Dew at
I just had to keep the spirit of our rivalry alive.
Oh no, it'll never die. I promise you that. I love the storyline so much that I'm never gonna beat you, and that's okay. But I think it's really funny.
Oh, you'll beat me.
Like, I just think it's a really funny storyline. Whew. I'm dizzy from laughing. If time or budget wasn't an issue, what would be different? What's something you would change?
Time budget wasn't an issue. I'd probably include more people in my films. I would travel around more. So that'd be time. As far as budget goes, I'd probably spend a lot of money on something that's just absolutely ridiculous. Like it'd be like crashing a car or something. Something that takes something just to the extreme. So that's probably what I'd do.
Would you go as far as like getting an actual bear to wrestle, like a trained animal?
Ooh, how much are those?
Good question.
I guess money's not an issue, right? So yeah, why not?
Okay, but you would be comfortable wrestling a bear.
Like a Hollywood bear.
I mean, a Hollywood bear is still a bear. Cheese on cardboard is still cheese. You know what I mean?
Is that better?
How much does it cost to rent a bear for a movie? Oh my God, bears for rent. Oh, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Hold on. I'm not seeing a price. And I don't want to call is it worth calling them? Are we doing this? Should we do this?
Yeah, call, see if anyone answers.
One
Is it
second.
Is it Craigslist?
No, it's called Pirates for Parties. It is a
Pirates for Party.
Yep, piratesforparties.com, and you can rent live animals to come to like a kid's birthday party. But
is this PETA approved?
I can't imagine it is. Hold on. It call for informations or details in a quote. Okay. All right. We're doing this. This is such a bad idea. All right. 714. Oh, I shouldn't say the number out loud. 7321. Guys, what if next year the celebrity guest judge is just a 1,000-pound bear?
That would be, dude. We are gonna do that, and we're gonna put.
Hold on.
And put food with the titles of the
party.
Hey, I was curious, what is the pricing for renting a bear?
For what purpose?
I guess a birthday party. I was really just curious how much it costs for.
It's not possible for birthday parties.
Okay, what is it possible for? Like for a movie then?
Yeah, if you make a film, then come back when you're making the movie, and we'll talk to you and see whether or not it's possible for you to do it.
I got you. I mean, like just hypothetically. He hung up on me. What a prick.
You should call back and be like, I decided I'm making a movie now.
Yeah.
It's called How to Find Food in the Wild. It was a short that was 6 minutes long, and we're making a feature.
Like, he just lost my service. I'll tell you what, my patronage.
Wow.
Wow, I'm actually kind of sad about that. Like, I'm just curious. The guy doesn't have to be mean.
Please tell me you're keeping it in.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care. And you know what? I'm leaving the name of them in so that everybody knows that they have rude customer service. Aaron, rate years. I guess it's just years 2 and 3 for you because you came in a year late. Rotten Doppel versus How to Find Food in the Wild. Which one is your favorite?
Rotten Doppel or Rotten Roommate?
Oh, my bad. All right. Let's take it from the top. Okay. Aaron, rate years 2 and 3 for me. Rotten Roommate versus How to Find Food in the Wild. Which one is your favorite personally?
Rotten Roommate.
Why is that?
I just think it was my first year in the festival, and I tried to do something that was a lot different. And I just thought I liked How to Find Food in the Wild, but I just thought the idea that it's Chuckles and I in real life and the whole demonic thing, I thought it worked well.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your voting criteria. What boxes need to be checked in order to earn an Aaron Winneroski vote?
I tend to go for the kind of more experimental ones. Kind of ones that like yours. I voted for yours because
did you really?
I did because like I like the ones that people aren't afraid to do something that hasn't been done before. And I kind of like the ones that don't take themselves too seriously too.
Mm-hmm. Whose film do you want to act in? Like, who do you want to be the designated actor for? And along with that, what character would you like to play? Like, what archetype?
I think I would want to be in Levi's next film. He came out swinging with Girlfriend is a Screen. Mm-hmm. And I would love for him to make another music video and for me to either act in it. I don't know if I can sing. Can't sing. But I want to be a part of his creative process because I think it's genius. I
was about to say, now we have the whole triad of what I can't remember what y'all's room number was, 309 or something like that.
I think it was
But-
300.
Yeah, but I mean, we have the whole trio now. Like, if y'all work together, we're doomed. Nobody else. We don't stand a chance.
Yeah, as far as like working with people, it would probably be Levi or Landers, just because like we're really good friends. We kind of have similar kind of humor.
Mhm.
It kind of comes through in the festival actually a little bit.
Mhm.
You kind of see that, and I think if the three of us got together, spent the day together, got Taco Bell, and just were coming up with ideas left and right, I think we could come up with something pretty funny.
Now, I'm going to put a stipulation on this next one. You can't choose Landers or Levi because y'all already have worked together so much.
Mhm.
If you could have a tag team partner, who would you choose?
Let me do probably like Andrew King. I think.
Why is that?
I think with he thinks through his films. Like this past year, his film was really well thought out,
Mhm.
and I think if we take his brain for how thought out the storyline is and the script, but then let me focus on just the complete random nature of what's happening in the film, just how random it is, I think those two would create a pretty satisfying film.
I would agree with that. I would love to see it. Aaron, thank you so much for hanging out with me for the evening and letting me pick your brain about this masterpiece.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you doing this podcast.
Yeah, dude. All right, this has been the PRFFP, and I'm just hanging out.
Hanging out with my family.